Alright, quick disclaimer. If I sound not very good in this video, it's because I don't feel very good. I have a brutal cold going on right now. So yeah, I can only apologize, and I hope that the video can still be enjoyable. But nevertheless, now that's out of the way, it is Charles here at C97 Gaming, and today we're doing the ultimate breakdown of motorsport management simulation game franchises. If you're a motorsport enthusiast or a strategy game aficionado, you're in the right place. We'll be diving into the intricacies of F1 Manager by Frontier, Motorsport Manager by PlaySport Games, Open Wheel Manager by Microprose, and Ultimate Racing 2D by Applamazing, which is a bit left field. It is a bit of a weird one, but stick with me on that. We will get to it. In this video, we'll explore the unique features, gameplay mechanics, and overall experience offered by each of these franchises, from managing your own Formula One team to making strategic decisions in a variety of racing series. I'm sure at least one of these games will scratch that motorsport management itch. And if you stick around to the end, there's a couple more newcomers to the party that I'm watching from afar that I think could be quite interesting that we'll discuss briefly. But without further ado, let's get into it. At number one, we've got F1 Manager. Where else to start other than the big one? And I say the big one as it's the only one as of now with an official license. And I think it's the highest budget and selling out of all of them on this list. Don't quote me on that, but I'm like 95% certain. Of course, it's the F1 Manager series developed by Frontier. On the brink of its third game, this series has evolved over successive installments, offering increasingly immersive experiences in the world of Formula One management. Now, I've got my opinions about yearly sports releases, and I don't necessarily think it works for this genre, but so far, they've been doing just enough to keep the players coming back. F1 Manager 2022 marked the series' debut, released on the 30th of August 2022, as the official racing management simulation game for the 2022 Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 championships. It revived the licensed manager games genre last seen with EA Sports F1 Manager around the early 2000s. Building on its predecessors, F1 Manager 2022 introduced a more detailed career mode, surpassing Codemasters' My Team mode from F1 2020, with a strategy editor enabling players to micromanage pit stops, tyre choices and race pace. The game offered a deeper level of strategic gameplay. Furthermore, it incorporated elements such as part development, cost caps and ERS, mirroring the real-world complexities of Formula One. The inclusion of real engineers and drivers alongside authentic team radios and race incidents like red flags added to the realism. The commentary by Karun Chandok and David Croft and faithful recreations of Formula One broadcast enhanced the immersive experience. F1 Manager 2023, its follow-up, released on the 31st of July 2023, so a month earlier than F1 Manager 2022. It was the second installment in the series and continued to build upon the foundations laid by its predecessor, creating an overall better experience, adding mid-race saves, hiring staff and drivers for the following season rather than with immediate effect, and team swapping, meaning you could really immerse yourself into a career save. One significant and heavily promoted addition was the race replay mode, allowing players to relive key moments from the season and do specific team-based scenarios that reflected the real-life F1 2023 season. How popular this was, however, is up for debate, and as far as I know, I don't think it's returning in the next installment. I actually personally thought this feature was kind of pointless when they announced it, but actually now that the season's done and we're sort of waiting for the next installment, it's quite fun rather than just mindlessly continuing a career mode to kind of go back and relive the season and do these race scenarios. I've actually found myself kind of enjoying them, which I didn't expect to. But now F1 Manager 2024 is on the horizon. It's scheduled for release in summer 2024, and it brings a host of new features. For the first time, players can create their own team, customizing every aspect from team setup to livery design. The addition of new cars, team principles, and an updated F1 sprint race format adds to the excitement. The game introduces a comprehensive mentality system and dynamic contract negotiations with improved rival team AI and the threat of staff and driver poaching. Pit lane reordering reflects real-world dynamics, and the ability to simulate races allows players to advance through the seasons quicker, providing a more immersive experience. F1 Manager 2024 aims to offer a dynamic and unpredictable challenge, ensuring that the series continues to push boundaries and deliver an unparalleled Formula One management experience. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the Frontier F1 Manager games so far, and F1 Manager 24 definitely looks like it will be the strongest entry yet. There's still a lot they can add to these games going forward, but again, I think the issues of yearly releases arise, and their main challenge, I would say, is maintaining their player base. At number 2, it's Motorsport Manager. Now, if F1 Manager is the big one, then this is the other big one in my opinion. It carried the torch for the Motorsport Manager simulation genre for a while, before Frontier came along, took that torch, and burned Motorsport Manager into the ground. No, I mean, that's not really fair. Motorsport Manager did that themselves with their last 2 awful games, but look, I'm not going to touch Motorsport Manager that much in this video. If you've been around on this channel before, you'll see I've played Motorsport Manager 3 extensively, and I don't really consider it one of the current or upcoming games, as the PC game came out in 2016, and since then the company has gone back to releasing mobile games that have steadily got worse, with absolutely no sign of a fully fledged sequel in sight. But as the game has done so much for the genre and has still got a good amount of success as a franchise, I'll do a small dive into the games and their features, just in case you're unaware, even though I would say that in the spectrum of modern Motorsport Manager games, this is sort of the one that's been around the longest, if that makes sense. Motorsport Manager began life as an iOS game released in the summer of 2014, and despite the fact that it's actually no longer available to buy now, it was so successful at the time that it led Christian West's PlaySport Games to create a PC version of the game. Straight away, no sequel on mobile before the PC game. It was one mobile game and straight to a PC game. And the PC game initially released similarly to the mobile version in that it was entirely focused on open wheel racing, but rather than having the player create a team like in the mobile app, they would select one of the fictional teams created in this fictional universe to manage from one of the 3 racing series and try and take them to glory. Additional DLC came later with the creator team mode and then the GT and Endurance Championships being added, giving the game a real thriving World of Motorsport feel, one with depth that we haven't seen replicated since. The game was met with critical acclaim and a great reception from players, and is still arguably the most popular motorsport management simulation to this day, maybe with the exception of the F1 Manager games. But I would say that the F1 Manager games have a couple of things that draw in that wider fan base to them, more sort of based on the accessibility of the Frontier games being on consoles, and obviously the official F1 license, which sort of doesn't draw people to Motorsport Manager as much. Not as many people have a gaming PC, and not as many people are interested in playing something that doesn't have the official license. However, with mod support, Motorsport Manager can still mirror official championships, including a vast array of F1 seasons, which the Frontier games don't cover. Despite players wanting an updated sequel for years, it never materialised, with PlaySport turning their focus back to mobile games. Motorsport Manager 2 released on iOS and Android, bringing over a handful of features from the PC title to mobile, and then Motorsport Manager 3 followed on iOS, Android and the Nintendo Switch, expanding on all the championships in the PC title and adding the ability for teams to go bankrupt and be bought out by other fictional teams, making it the most comprehensive motorsport management simulator on mobile devices. I don't particularly want to discuss anything PlaySport have done since this, as I think that Motorsport Manager 3 is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of their work, and the last good game they've made at the very least. At some point between Motorsport Manager 3 and Motorsport Manager 4, PlaySport founder Christian West left the company, and I think that's had a large part to play in the downfall of the company and the series as a whole. As I said before, I don't really view Motorsport Manager as a current player in the genre, but at the same time, I don't think they can be overlooked for the work that they did to rekindle it in the past decade. I don't think that we would have all the games on this list now if it weren't for Motorsport Manager. At number 3, we've got Open Wheel Manager 2, which is a retro-styled motorsport management simulator published by 90s and early 2000s F1 game heavy hitters Microprose, the company responsible for iconic games such as Jeff Crammond's Grand Prix series and the Grand Prix Manager series. It's heavily tailored for open wheel fans, specifically those interested in late 90s and early 2000s F1 vibes. It's built around the classical race management principle of indirect control, meaning you won't need to micromanage KERS or DRS during the race. Instead, your focus is on finding sponsorship to develop a fast car, hiring the right people, and coming up with the best race strategies to win the season. The game returns from Open Wheel Manager 1, I think it was just called Open Wheel Manager, with redesigned car development mechanics and a brand new 3D racing engine. The 3D engine, however, is a bit weird as it's all static cameras, so it doesn't really follow the action as much as more modern style motorsport management games do, but it's still entertaining, and I believe it's designed with the intention of replicating those old style F1 Manager games. Additionally, watching races in this game is rather a pointless experience due to the lack of focus on in-race management, and when I do elect to do it, it tends to be on 16 times speed in top-down 2D dot format rather than in 3D, as you are simply just watching the drama of the race unfold rather than directly being involved, so you have far less quick decisions to react to. Unlike most motorsport management simulations, you start off with 100% ownership of your racing team, and you can sell shares of the team to earn money rather than working under some form of chairman. You could choose a team from the bottom of the table for a challenging pathway to the top, or attempt to maintain your dominance by taking control of a big team, but you do take control of a pre-generated team. You don't make your team, you take control of a team, but you own 100% of that team. It's sort of like a motorsport chairman rather than a team principal game. If you think of it with regards to F1 Manager 24, that's the sort of game where you're sort of playing as Andrea Stella as the team principal of McLaren, under Zach Brown as like the CEO of McLaren, right? This game is sort of the other way around. So rather than being the team principal, you're like the CEO and you own the team and you can sell shares in the team and you're sorting all the background stuff while someone else sort of does the race management. So that's the sort of twist with this game when you kind of put it in that context, as well as its obviously retro vibe. In Open Wheel Manager 2, they say every choice matters, every variable, whether it's about your car or your personnel, impacts performance. If an overtake occurs during the race, you can be sure it took place due to the parameters of the driver and the car, with no other factors outside of your control. With 12 playable teams, 42 drivers, 6 engine suppliers, and 16 tracks spanning the globe, the game offers a rich and immersive experience. Customize liveries for your car, design, produce, and install parts, negotiate contracts with drivers and staff, and engage with the race in 3 ways: 3D race view, 2D race view, or quick result, where you just skip through the race. With an unlimited number of save files and seasons, Open Wheel Manager 2 offers endless possibilities. The game is still in early access, and as such I'd expect it to improve from here with more features being added, one of which recently was mod support, which was added, and I've actually been playing through a save based around the official F1 1999 World Championship. And to give you an idea of the kind of things that can happen in this game, Renault bought Minardi in the early 2000s rather than buying Benetton, so Benetton are still in the sport. Minardi aren't in the sport, it's now the Renault team. So Minardi in real life, obviously, if you don't know, became Toro Rosso, which then became AlphaTauri, which is now the RBs. It's the Red Bull sister team. In my universe, that's never going to happen because Renault own the Minardi team. On top of that, I'm managing, well, by saying managing, I own BAR. But I've actually forged a partnership with BMW. So instead of it being BAR Honda in the early 2000s, we are BAR BMW. Personally, I'd highly recommend this to someone looking for that hit of nostalgia, especially at the reasonable price at the time of recording this of £16.75. Now at number 4, it's the weird one. It's Ultimate Racing 2D2. Ultimate Racing 2D2 is the second installment in the Ultimate Racing 2D series, which you might be shocked to know. The game boasts an impressive lineup of 35 different racing classes, covering a wide range of vehicles and racing disciplines. From karts to formula racing, players can progress through an extensive career mode or jump straight into the action in championship mode, with over 45 visually stunning tracks, including road courses, ovals, dirt ovals, historic tracks, karting circuits, and ice speedway tracks. The racing experience is diverse and exciting. Now here's the big one for this game that I would say. The addition of the Steam Workshop takes this game to another level. With access to hundreds of mods, players can customize their experience like never before, and I do not say that lightly. Want to race in an official Formula 1 season from the 90s? No problem. With mods for it, pretty much, I was going to say every year, but I have gone through and there are a lot of years of Formula 1. The possibilities are almost endless. And it's not just about cars. Mods for real-world tracks allow players to race on their favourite circuits from across the globe. Now, you might be wondering why this game is on my list of motorsport management simulation series. Well, here's the twist that you may not have seen coming. Ultimate Racing 2D2 features a manager mode, and while it may be basic compared to dedicated management games, it allows players to focus on race management, making strategic decisions that can turn the tide of a race. But here's where it gets interesting. With the help of mods, players can effectively manage a team in any official racing series they desire, from managing an official F1 team in any year from the late 90s to present day, to tinkering with driver transfers between seasons and team performances. I mean, there's just so much you can do with this game. There's whole mods for like DTM, NASCAR, WEC, V8 supercars. There's even an old super touring BTCC thing. I could literally manage a team in the British Touring Car Championship around all the British touring car circuits. I don't know any other game where I can do that. You want to introduce ERS mode to mid-2000s F1 cars? You can do it. Maybe you prefer to limit modern day F1 cars to a single tyre compound. The choice is literally yours with this game. With its robust editor and limitless potential, Ultimate Racing 2D2 offers a unique motorsport sandbox experience. It may not be a traditional management game, but its manager mode, combined with the wealth of mods available, makes it one of my favourite racing games and a standout choice for anyone looking to immerse themselves in the world of motorsport management. It's available as of recording this on Steam for £6.99, which I think is an absolute bargain for the amount of content you have access to with this game. And to finish off the video, we're going to dive into some little bonus content. Like I said at the start, there's a few newcomers. So here are two titles coming out later this year that I'm keeping an eye on. First off, we've got Golden Lap. It's a motorsport management game coming from Fun Selector Labs, the game designers responsible for cult favourite Art of Rally, and it looks like they're going for the same approach in this niche. The description on the Steam page reads, "Step into the polished shoes of a racing team manager in the heart-stirring golden era of motorsport where every decision can lead to glory or gravel. With sleek minimalist charm and deep strategic gameplay, Golden Lap offers a unique experience in the motorsport management genre. Fast, exciting, deadly." The golden era of open wheel racing is about to begin. Do you have what it takes to lead an iconic team through one of the most exciting decades of motorsport history? As the head of a team, you'll make pivotal decisions that shape the destiny of your drivers and the performance of your cars. Allocate your budget wisely across drivers, support staff, car development, and sponsors to gain an edge over the competition. Manage big personalities to get the most out of every member of your team. And don't forget, racing in this era is unpredictable and intense. Golden Lap is no ordinary motorsport management game. Safety measures are improving, but accidents can happen. Car technology is advancing in leaps and bounds. You aren't racing spreadsheets, and there's no such thing as a guaranteed win, which makes the victory all the sweeter. This definitely sounds like it's going to have a darker and grittier spin to the motorsport manager genre, and it also sounds like it's going to be set the furthest back in time of all the others. I know with Ultimate Racing 2D2 you can sort of do whatever era of motorsport you want, but the setting of this feels very entrenched in the past. And this all seems to contradict the vibrant, almost cute art style, but I'm definitely interested in seeing what they produce. Release is scheduled for this year, but we have no specific dates or price point yet. And finally, GT Manager. Similarly to Motorsport Manager, GT Manager comes originally from a mobile game and is being developed for PC by the Tiny Digital Factory. Again due for release this year, but with no set release date or price as of recording. GT Manager invites you to step into the world of endurance racing as a racing team manager. Create and manage your team, build your dream garage from over 30 officially licensed cars, including GT4, GT3, GT2, GTE, and hypercars. So they got a lot of officially licensed GT cars. Sign over 20 race winners and world champions as your official drivers, challenge real racing teams, and compete in short sprints and long endurance races. Ascend through 5 racing leagues, adapt to diverse tracks, and aim for the pinnacle, the Hypercars League. From this description, screenshots, and gameplay already released, I'm not overly excited about this one, which makes it sort of a dull end to the video, but personally, I just think it still looks like a mobile game, and it sounds, rather than utilising the official licenses they've got to create a true-to-life and authentic endurance racing experience, which personally, I think would be really welcomed right now with the resurgence of GT and endurance racing. It seems like they've just built an arcade mobile-like game instead. Things could still change before release, and I will wait to make my final judgment, but I'm not overly excited about this one right now. So that's it, a comprehensive breakdown of the current and upcoming motorsport management simulation games, with some personal opinions scattered in there, but I want to hear yours. Do you play any of these? Are any of these new and interesting to you? Do you absolutely hate any of these? I want to know your feelings on these games, and let me know if there's any that I've missed that you know of, as I'm always interested in finding new games in this niche genre. Let's talk down in the comments. If this video helped you find something new, hit the like button, it really helps the channel out, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.